Now, the economy is on its knees and businesses are struggling. For the banking sector, they have experienced an all-time low asset quality. But the question is, with what the banking sector is going through, how is it coping up with the situation? And what impact does this have on small businesses and enterprises? Joining me is the CEO of Stanbic Bank and JUUKO. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
Let's begin from understanding from your perspective as a banker. With this pandemic, every person and business have a direct experience on how they have been affected by the pandemic. How has it affected you as a bank?
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for this opportunity. I think I'll start by commiserating with all the Ugandans who have suffered the pandemic. I mean, each one of us has either been sick from COVID, nursed a family member, or in some cases even lost a few people. So I think that would be a good place to start to say that we're going through a tough time, but we'll see better. For us at Stanbic, we haven't been spared. Between May to July, close to 20% of our staff members have been sick one way or another from COVID or COVID-related illnesses. And while many of them have recovered, on the 22nd of July, we did lose one of our more distinguished and long-serving members. We lost Henry Kamuntu to COVID on that day. We are still in grieving mode. So for the better part of this quarter that we're coming out, we have been focusing on how to keep our staff safe. And that safety comes from everything that they do. Whether you're in the branch, on your way home, or wherever you are, safety first as a first priority. The second one is how do we keep our customers safe? When you enter into our branches or any interaction we have with our customers, we emphasize SOPs as much as possible, and we facilitate those SOPs. The other part of what we've done is to ensure that our workforce can serve from wherever they are. I'm pleased to report that close to 70% of our staff are working from home, and we are able to serve the nation and continue to be productive.
And quality remains the same?
Absolutely. With the exception of those who have to report, for example, in the branches or in IT, everybody else can work from home, and our customers haven't felt any difference at all.
Let's talk about the asset quality. Businesses are struggling, and therefore people do not have money. What has been your experience with the businesses that you're trying to support?
That is indeed a concern, and it's a concern that started back in March last year when we first got hit with COVID. And this concern we see mostly in the SME sector. And the reason for that, by their very nature, SMEs do not have large capital reserves or any savings that are held up. In fact, the models are such that they run on thin capital with very little shock absorbers to be able to withstand a shock such as COVID. So when that happened, we saw an almost immediate impact in cash flows and the ability to service ongoing obligations in terms of loans that they had. And that for us is where the call started, the call to action to say, what do we do for our customers who are going through something that they are not only not prepared for, it's also unprecedented. And we've done quite a lot of stuff, and I'll take you through some of them. The first one, which is the single most important one in a situation like that, is to provide relief. Think of it as CPR for a business when you're going through a shock. So we provided credit relief measures, whether it's deferment of interest or deferring the principal, and allowing the businesses to go back and say, if I don't have to pay this obligation, what can I do? What else can I do to remain afloat? And we've done a lot of that. I mean, we've been, and the Bank of Uganda has also been very kind about it and very futuristic in allowing and relaxing the prudential guidelines so that we are able to provide moratoriums. There are some businesses where we provided moratoriums from March, and that moratorium extends until September of this year. So that's one area where we provided relief. Okay, maybe just because of the interest of time, let's talk about your shareholders. Should they expect your half-year performance results, and when? So because we are a listed entity, I am unable at this point in time to share with you the details of our half-year results. However, I can tell our shareholders that on the 6th of August this year, which is Friday, we will be sharing our half-year results. We will be sharing them both in media, print media, as well as digital media. And on the same day at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, we will have a conference call where we will share the facts behind the figures on the same. And maybe in just 30 seconds, what's your
projection of the economy and how it's going to flow for the next couple of months, maybe 5 or so, till the end of the year?
So we are one month into the fiscal year, and there's quite a lot of that happening. When we remember, our GDP growth before the pandemic was about 6.5%. In 2020, we got hit, and that contracted up to about 3%. This year, we expect to continue in a period of depressed growth. In fact, we project that we only go back into pre-COVID levels somewhere between 2023 and 2024. But I'd like to say that the best economic policy at this point in time is vaccination. Only if we can vaccinate all eligible Ugandans can we create sustainable growth in the economy. As it is now, the government and everybody else is balancing livelihoods and lives. And that's why you see they close us down when lives become threatened. When we get a breather, they open that up again. That policy is not sustainable. The best way for all of us to move forward is if we can get a large number of Ugandans vaccinated so that we can all get back to work and start being productive and as it is now, every single sector in the economy is producing at a suboptimal level. Only when we have sustainable demand in the economy, when we have open over a long period of time, can we start to see real growth coming back, employment coming back, and sectors like education opening up, which are very much needed.
I got my second job in May. Did you get yours?
Yes, I got mine a couple of months ago.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us, and JUUKO'S CEO, Stanbic Bank. Let's take a short break. When we return, we have more for you.